And now 3, Americans work more than anyone. On average, Americans work 10 more hours per week than people in other high-income countries. But why? Why do Americans work so much? Are we just a bunch of workaholics? Are we that addicted to working that even when given more vacation time, we just work through it? The data suggests that there's something else going on here, something more sinister. It has to do with our relationship to work, what our work says about us. You see, many Americans believe that the American dream is attainable only through hard work. If you don't work hard, you're not worthy. You see, the narrative goes, if you work hard, then you can achieve success, you can achieve your goals, whatever that means. But if you don't work hard, well, then you're not worthy. You see where I'm going with this? Success is tied to self-worth. Work equals identity. And the more successful you are, the more you should work. This is especially true if you're an American man. For American men, the correlation between income and hours worked is stronger than it is for everyone else. Basically, if you want to be a high-status, high-earning man, you better be working those long hours. But why is this happening? Hasn't technology made our lives easier? Shouldn't we be working less now than we were in the past? So why are we working more? Well, according to research, one reason could be the nature of the work itself. As I mentioned earlier, technology has changed the nature of work. In the past, work was more physical. Today, work is more cognitive. We're constantly making decisions, solving problems, thinking, which takes more mental energy than physical energy. This is why you get mentally exhausted after a long day of work. And the more cognitively demanding your job is, the more tired you are at the end of the day. This is why people who work in high-stress, high-stakes environments like finance or tech or startups work longer hours. It's not because they love working so much, but because their job requires so much of them mentally that they have trouble switching off. They're constantly thinking about work. They're constantly thinking about their business. What if this doesn't work out? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not smart enough? These thoughts keep them up at night. This is why some of the most overworked and most stressed professions require the highest salaries. It's compensation for the toll that the job takes on your mind. But this isn't the only reason why Americans work more than anyone. Another big reason is that Americans are paid better than almost everyone else for working longer hours. If you look at any list of the most overworked countries, you will also find the United States at the top. For example, the OECD found that in the United States, almost a quarter of people worked 60 or more hours a week compared to just 10% in France and Germany. So what gives? Why are Americans working so much more than everyone else? The answer, according to research, is simple. People are paid more to work more. This is especially true for high-income earners. Take a look at this graph. The blue line represents workers in the 90th percentile, meaning the top 10% of earners. The red line represents the median worker. What you'll notice is that the top 10% of earners work almost double the hours of the typical worker. This is true across all industries. But why? Why are top earners working so much more than everyone else? The answer is simple. They have more to prove. Now, hold on a second. Let me explain. See, when you're a high earner, everyone assumes that you got there by working hard. That's why they pay you so much. So you must work very hard, right? But what if that's not true? What if you got lucky, or you slept with your boss, or you know someone that knows someone? If other people knew that, they wouldn't pay you so much. This is why high earners work more. They need to prove themselves to others. They need to prove that they deserve their salary. This is why over half of high earners work more than 60 hours a week, almost twice the number of low earners. Now, the problem with this is that when you work more, you make more. When you make more, you get promoted faster. And when you get promoted faster, you work even more. And this cycle keeps repeating itself until you burn out. This is what happens to most high earners. They burn out in their 40s or 50s and they have nothing to show for it. They sacrifice their relationships, their health, their family for their career, and in the end, they have nothing. This is the problem with equating success with self-worth. This is the problem with measuring yourself based on how much money you make, how much you work. In the end, it leads to nothing but unhappiness and burnout. So remember, brothers, there is more to life than just working. There is more to life than just making money. Don't sacrifice your relationships, your health, your family for your career. Those things are way more important. Work hard, but also know when to rest. That's where the balance lies.